Namaste. I am Shweta Suryakant. I am an ophthalmologist currently practicing in Bangalore. I am also a passionate yoga practitioner, international silver medalist, and a government certified yoga trainer. I started practicing yoga at the age of about 12 years. My first yoga teacher, Srimati Lakshmi Bai ma'am, she was really a very big inspiration for me to learn yoga. She identified my potential and put me to train under the legendary yogi Sri Gopalakrishna sir. Both of these people played a prime role in molding me into a flexible yoga champ. My notion about yoga back then was very limited. I wanted to learn complex asanas, participate in more and more competitions, and keep winning prizes. As I grew up and went on to study medicine, I did not have as much time to practice yoga, or maybe it was an excuse that I could think of, but I just kept as much practice as I could with the limited time I had. I got a lot of encouragement when I went on to my post graduation at Shankara Eye Hospital, Shimoga, where they gave me a lot of support to keep my passion thriving. So I enrolled with another teacher with the same name, Sri Gopalakrishna sir. His classes were really motivating and it gave me a lot of positivity to restart and take my yoga back on track. It was during this time that I started realizing that we'll have a lot of potential, but we always find lame excuses to not pursue it to the full extent. So that realization struck me and I started practicing more. So I went on to participate and win the bronze medal in the year 2017 in International Yoga Championship conducted by Government of India in Pondicherry. Later in the year 2019 in the same championship, I also won the silver. Then came my once in a lifetime moment. It was being selected for the Republic Day Award in the year 2019. However, I couldn't receive the honors personally. My mother took the honors on my behalf, and it was really gratifying because if not for these family members who have always been my backbone, I wouldn't have been anywhere close to where I am today. So I think it was during my MBBS days in Hassan that I started appreciating the deeper facets of yoga. I started analyzing yoga, pranayama in terms of human anatomy and physiology that I was studying back then, and I started realizing that it is making so much more sense scientifically. I also understood that yoga doesn't do something out of the box, but it just puts back everything into its place well within the box. So, this kind of realization made me read more and more about yoga, and that's when I started appreciating and exploring the deeper spiritual aspect of yoga. Coming to my profession, I chose medicine because it was my calling. After completing MBBS, I chose ophthalmology because I was so fascinated about this tiny little organ that has this wonderful ability of sight. Being an eye surgeon, I can bring in a drastic change in a patient's life by giving them back their lost vision. During my post graduation days in Shimoga, I had this opportunity to interact and operate on elderly patients from rural Karnataka. I tell you, there's nothing more gratifying than an 80-year-old happy soul blessing you from all her heart after regaining her vision on the first post operative day. These are tiny moments in our lives that make our career as doctors so much more meaningful. Speaking of present lifestyle, the younger generation has gone in for a very unhealthy kind of lifestyle. There's a lot of junk food hogging, sleeping in the daytime, skipping sleep in the night for various reasons, maybe studies, night shift work, or just sitting and watching movies. All these bad trends have caused a very unhealthy rise of lifestyle disorders. See, there's something called a circadian rhythm that governs the sleep wake cycle in our body. Everything is tuned according to this biological clock within our body. When we don't follow this, there can be a lot of health problems. See, there is a hormone called melatonin that is secreted in the darkness, which stimulates good sleep. The maximum secretion of growth hormone happens only in the night. There are certain hormones like cortisol which are secreted at its peak in the early morning hours. A good night's sleep is very essential for a lot of things, including tissue repair and neuronal regeneration that maximum happens during the night. So, by not following the schedules, we are making the system go haywire. circadian rhythm is breached, and that is what is leading to a rapid rise of lifestyle disorders these days, like diabetes, hypertension, obesity, thyroid disorders, and whatnot. These so-called systemic disorders have their impact on almost all organs, including the eye. So there are eye diseases also that can be a result of this bad lifestyle of ours. I would tell you that there are many scientific papers that have been published that say that regular practice of yoga under guidance can help in complementing medical treatment in a variety of eye diseases ranging from dryness, headache to chronic diseases like glaucoma. I would like to stress upon the fact that here yoga is an adjunct to medical treatment and it is not a replacement for standard medical care. And when I say yoga here, it just not means fancy asanas, but it also includes certain disciplinary rules that come under yoga. Those are the yamas and niyamas, which also form a part of Ashtanga yoga. When we inculcate it rightly in our lives under the guidance of a trained yoga practitioner or yoga therapist, it can definitely help us lead our lives better. But let me warn you something, that if you have glaucoma, then certain postures like Shirshasana or headstand can cause an increase in the intraocular pressure, that is the pressure within your eye, and can worsen the disease per se. So always make sure to inform your yoga trainer or yoga therapist about your eye diseases also, along with the systemic diseases if any. Also, it's a wise choice to let your ophthalmologist know about your yoga practice so that they can guide you accordingly. Ever since the pandemic started, our lifestyle has changed even more rapidly. From meetings to classes, from fun to work, everything has become virtual, and because of that, the electronic gadgets have started ruling our lives. Reports say that the average screen time among Indians has increased by about 87% since the COVID-19 pandemic began. This is really alarming because we have started seeing a lot of patients coming to us, including children attending online classes with a lot of eye problems ranging from dryness, irritation, headache, blurring of vision, watering, rapid change of their spectacle numbers, many of them. This whole spectrum of eye diseases that is a result of excessive use of digital screens is termed as computer vision syndrome. So why exactly does this happen? See, there's a small tear film covering our ocular surface. This film will help in protecting the ocular surface. When we are excessively using computer screens for prolonged hours, the tear film tends to get evaporated. Also, there's a fact that we tend to blink less often when we are staring at a computer screen. There's also the factor of heat being emitted from the screen and the AC blowing on our face and decreasing the humidity in the air. All these factors can cause rapid evaporation of your tear film. The simplest and the first thing that you have to do is to voluntarily blink more often so that the natural tear film that is there in your eye gets reformed. Another common problem that we have been seeing in these days after the COVID began is that there are patients complaining of diminution of vision. They see vision properly in the beginning. As the day progresses, they feel that their vision is blurring. So why does this happen? See, when we are looking at something far away, there are tiny muscles within our eyes which are relaxed. When I have to focus at something close by, these tiny muscles will have to contract so that there's a better focus. When you look at the computer screen for long hours, these muscles tend to get overworked. So after a long day, they just undergo fatigue and stop working. That's when this focusing doesn't happen properly and near vision gets blurred. On the contrary, in children where this kind of accommodation is extremely strong, it just doesn't relax. So after using the screen for a long time, those muscles just keep working and do not relax even when the child is trying to look something far away. So the distance vision becomes blurred. A major cause for all this is the accommodation being overused. So what can be done? Simple thing is to follow a basic rule called the 20-20-20 rule. So what is this? After every 20 minutes of screen time, take a 20-second break and look at something far away. Far away as in at least 20 feet away. By doing this, we are giving some rest to these overworking tiny muscles within the eye, so the accommodation will not get fatigued or get strained. Mind you, during this 20-second break that you take, Don't switch from the computer screen to another electronic gadget like a mobile phone or iPad, because that really doesn't serve the purpose. Most of these things that I'm telling you are validated both medically and also from a yogic point of view, but the names might be quite different. That's all. Also, make sure to maintain a proper posture while you're working on your computer. Make sure that the back is straight, the neck is erect, and you're not putting undue strain on your neck or back. Make sure to sit in a room with ambient light, adjust the computer screen at your eye level, and also make sure to have an anti-glare screen if possible on your computer screen. All these small things that you can implement in your lifestyle can take a long way in helping you cope up with these symptoms of computer vision syndrome. Coming to correlation between yoga and medicine, according to me, yoga and modern medicine are like two rails of a railway track. See, they don't meet quite often, but both of these aim and take us towards one common goal, that is being fit and healthy. So, yoga helps in keeping the bodily functions at a normal functioning level, and if in case it goes haywire or if it gets really abnormal, then the medicine pitches in and helps it bring back to normal levels. So don't think that yoga and medicine are rivals. They are not. They are something like these are like partners. These coordinate, complement, and augment each other to make us live a healthy and fit life. Speaking of my experience with this kind of integration between yoga and medicine has helped me in analyzing and practicing yoga in a better and scientific way, while yoga has helped me cope up with the rigorous medical training and the stresses associated with this. So, after so many years of being in both these fields, I realized that I'm at a kind of neutral balance now. I'm able to maintain a very good harmony between my profession, that's medicine, and my passion, that is yoga. So I have been trained in both, and I am able to utilize both of these to help people in whatever little way I can. If I have to conclude, don't get stressed with your life. Prioritize health. Take care of your body, because that is where you live. And if you feel something is going abnormal or something is not fitting in, never hesitate to seek help. I just hope this little video helps you in some way. Sarve janaha sukhino bhavantu. Shubhamastu.